Hello, hello. Again, just getting a few things set up here. Usual thing. We're getting some work done on the house today, and everything's a little bit rushed and last minute this afternoon. Um, it, I should have better latency today. I've set the settings up to be a bit more immediate, so it'll be quite interesting to see how much lag there is or latency between chat and the stream, and whether it affects the quality of the video and all that kind of stuff. Happy New Year, Bishop. Happy New Year, Rowdy. Happy Epiphany. So I've just put a tweet out. We'll see who comes along. We've got some quite interesting things to show that we've been working on, and I think we're quite pleased with where we're at the moment with the alpha development. So the stuff that we're working on at the moment is for closed alpha development. And the idea is that pretty soon we will release this publicly for people to play around in, and I'll probably talk a little bit more about that on the stream. This is the latest. I don't know what you describe this as. Like, this is where like the Knitties are customized for testing purposes. It's just it's not going to be. Well, it probably won't be a scene in the real game. It's just for testing purposes, and it's been set up very specifically just to allow us to test stuff nice and easily, and get feedback about specific tooling very quickly without having to go, where in the game world did you experience that issue? We can test everything in this one scene. That's the idea. So it's got a little bit of everything. It is very much a vertical slice scene that we're working on here, and it's been laid out specifically to achieve that kind of functionality. So yeah, it might make it into the final thing, but there's some specific things we're playing around with at the moment, which are just to do with wallet detection and all that kind of stuff, and that's all captured in this scene. Every time I open up OBS, I have to set everything up again. I have to. The layouts stay the same, but the screens go to different screens, and my camera is a different camera, so I have to double click them and change them up. What's the latency like? So enter I don't know, do an emote in the chat now. Waiting. There we go. Okay, cool. So that's a lot better than last time, isn't it? So that's pretty. Yeah, that's okay. I think if I have it with my internet connection here, in the Peak District, it would be if I had it on low, ultra low latency, the quality of the video just wouldn't be very good at all. I mean, I don't even know what it's actually like, to be honest. Yeah, Game Boy. It's not a Game Boy. It's a knockoff of a device that was manufactured by a large corporation who we don't want to be sued by. So this is actually one of the cases that you can buy to fix that device from third-party sellers that are sold legally. Right, so this is one of those cases rather than the original device itself. Please don't sue us. Yeah, I actually do have I got any things a lot of people don't know that I refurb and customize retro consoles, do they? Hang on a second, I'll just turn my mic off. Back. Yeah, like this is one of my. I can't remember how long ago I did this one actually. Like the alpha has been taking up so much time that I think this was probably the last one that I did. That's really cool. So that's like an original. Hey fella. That's an original Game Gear that's been. It's got all the new boards in it. So like it's got the new soundboard. Have I got any batteries in these? Oh. They've all, of course, it's USB powered now, so I've put in these USB-C rechargeable batteries, so it will have power, and it's got a really great screen now. But there's no game in it, of course, so there's like, it's not going to come on. Do I have a game here? Okay, you'll just have to trust me. But yeah, it's got a beautiful sound. It's got a beautiful, new sound card. It's got new screen and everything, new power. It's got the lot, and yeah, just did all that myself. If you're looking to get into customizing consoles, retro consoles, Game Gears are easily the best ones to get into, because most of them you don't need to do any soldering on. Like, it's got like pins and stuff in it, so it's just a case of unplugging pins and plugging new ones in. So if you're not like keen on doing soldering, Game Gears are really good to get into in terms of customization. But actually, that's not my latest one. This is my latest one. And this one's very special because the buttons are solid cast brass, or brass. So like they're really heavy. Now unfortunately, because of that, it's horrible to play on. It's absolutely horrible to play on. This has got the new screen, beautiful IPS screen. Have I got any batteries in it? Probably not. Let's see if these batteries are not dead. Actually, they shouldn't be because they're from Amazon. Let me have a quick look. Yeah, I've been doing these for years. Yeah, so Potato just pointing out my southern roots. Yeah, so brass, totally. That's from where, but I've lived up north nearly as long as I live down south now. So I wonder at what point you become a northerner. If you go up the road into like the peaks, the small villages of the peaks, then you're not really considered like a northerner until you got like 3 generations dead and buried in the ground. Yeah, not sure what it's like in Manchester. So beautiful backlit screen. Beautiful IPS screen. I just noticed there's a bit of dust has got in there. That's really annoying. So I'm going to have to open it up and get that bit of dust out. Oh, that's super annoying. Anyway, that teaches me for leaving stuff out, doesn't it? And I've got all my games stuff all out over here, and a big pile of unplayed games. I've received another one today that I've bought on eBay. I've been looking for a decent copy on eBay for a while. Not many people played this. Future Cup LAPD. A lot of people played the demo back in the day. This is an amazing game on the PlayStation 1. Really, really fantastic. Yeah. So yeah, I recommend that if you're into like high-paced action games. That's a really fantastic one to play. But I've got a pile of like 25 games here still waiting to play. I've got like Callisto Protocol that I've not played yet. Ugh. Anyway, so we're not really here for all of that, are we? So where are we up to with the Knitties demo? So I should be able to show you. Now this is a local build, so it's testing a virtual wallet. So this is not doing a live wallet test, what I'll do is I'll do a build in a minute, and we'll test the live wallet. The build takes a little bit of time, like it takes about 5 minutes to build it. So what I'll do is I'll show you where we're up to, and just with the local build, and then I'll do a live build, and we'll see how that works with a wallet, basically. So I think most of you are probably up to date with kind of where we're at. Let's hope I don't get any errors here, because I've just changed a bunch of stuff. Okay, so this is like running now. I don't know if anyone's actually noticed, but I put a really subtle little bit of movement on the camera, meant to simulate like almost like holding a mobile phone kind of thing, you know. So obviously you've got like the various positional changes of things, but let's not linger on that. And there's going to be some stuff that gets hidden, I think, because of my video. So obviously this is all alpha. I have to keep saying this, but this is all alpha, and we are not investing time in designing UI and all that kind of stuff just yet. It's all about designing the systems that will house everything and that kind of stuff, and doing it in as modular a way as possible. So this is the wallet connection, and this is just picking up local wallet data. And this is great because I can just construct a fake wallet locally, and I can say, right, I need to test the super knits, because of course a couple of community members one community member has got a super knit just in the last day or two, and Ek has obviously got a super knit as well, and Kere's a booster, so I wanted to make sure that he could use his super knit in the testing, because not all of the knitties are in yet, not all of the yarns, not all of the colours are in yet. I've got a punch list which is pretty big at the moment that I'm working through. It's pretty insane. So anyway, this is when I click connect my wallet, what happens is it picks a random nitty, a random S1 nitty, and it will just customize that S1 nitty with various S2 assets. Now, I haven't done the expressions again yet. That's going to be something that I do soon, I think, because I've not touched the expressions yet at all. And I think everything you see here are the areas that you can customize. Now, if you don't have an S1 nitty at the moment, the demo will not work for you. Alright, so the alpha will not work for you. There are going to be some defaults built in here, but at the moment you can see, based on this virtual wallet that I've constructed, there are what it does is it takes the number of nitties that basically it calculates the amount of possibilities, the amount of possible combinations that there are in my wallet, basically. And this is per nitty, I think. Let me check, actually. Let me check. Good idea just to... no, it isn't. So this is the number of different yarns times by the number of all the different assets, basically, that are available. So based on the different yarns and all that kind of stuff, that's how many combinations are available in this wallet. Now we've been doing calculations and stuff behind the scenes of how many combos there will be, and it's pretty nuts. Like, Adam posted it all the other day, actually, and I think it worked out as like, I don't want to say it, actually. I'm going to check. How am I going to find this? I'm going to just type in billion and see what post comes up. Okay, yeah. So with all of the assets in, when all of the assets are in, then, and this includes like expressions, some of the face assets that, like the glasses from Maxi and all that kind of stuff. There will be over 1 billion possibilities for each nitty. right? And that's just with the stuff that exists right now, you know. So per S1 Knitty, there'll be over 1 billion combinations. But the thing is like there's other multipliers that we're going to be adding to this. You know, we haven't even dealt with the extras from S1 yet, or the future extras that we'll be adding in. So there's so many possibilities with these. I mean, I'm pretty sure that this is probably the most customizable setup in the NFT space right now, because you know people are going to be able to customize their avatar and play to some degree with other people who hold Knitties within the next couple of weeks, right? So that's going to be up and it's going to be public within the next couple of weeks. Well, maybe next 2 to 3 weeks, right? Once we figured out lobby systems and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, everything you see here, like on the Knitty and in the background, like these skate decks, these are from the Knitties that I own. I haven't put all of the S2 skate decks in just yet. We've only got up to the Astro at the moment. So yeah, it's going to look at what ones you own and all that kind of stuff, and it's going to, like, we've got a treasure chest over here. Oh, you can't see it because my face is in the way. Can I just, maybe if I just go like this, right? So there's a treasure chest over there, and that's because I own Sparrow, S2 Sparrow, of course. Shall I just stick my head over here temporarily, because then you can kind of see that a bit better. I didn't think of that, did I? It's not really stream friendly. Yeah, that's okay. I think we can cope with that. So obviously, like, you know, as expected, I can just go through these and make selections. Every time I pick an S1 at the moment, it will just reset to the original like S1 items. I'll change that probably soon, so it'll only change the items. Like if they're not set to the original S1 items or something like that. We'll see. I think most people have got a favourite S1, right? And they're just like, oh, I can't wait to be that one. And this one's obviously like a matchy, right? Almost a super matchy, but like obviously this one, like there's only one super matchy of these, but and I don't have it, but there is like 3 or 4 extras on this one, I think. Anyway, yeah, you can pick the one that you want, and I've got one of the super knits in my fake wallet actually. I think the super knit I've got is actually the one that I can't spell. One. The auctioned one from Faha. Faha, a long-term supporter of the project, of course. Hoping to do something with him soon. Actually, we need to connect and talk. We used to chat quite a lot, but I think that there's some stuff that we could do with Faha, which would be really, really interesting. I think, yeah, and just because he's been such a long-term supporter of the project and he's got so many, we just want to do something maybe for the Faha 100 and the Faha like 10,000, or the people that own the posters. So that when they log into the game, they might get a custom hoodie or a custom hat or a face mask, like the sort of Faha face mask or something. But I need to speak to him about that. Hey Maria. Hey Toasty. Yeah, so this is my super knit. It's not my super knit. Actually, I feel a bit cheeky customizing this one. The interesting thing about the black labels is like to indicate that you've got a black label. Not only will you have the yarn color, but not everyone's going to notice the yarn color, right? You would have to keep at the moment, you'd have to keep one of the black label assets so that people can see, oh yeah, that's a black label, right? And the black label's on the high tops as well. So what I might, there's some extra stuff that is going to be going in onto these knitties, like kind of like I don't know what you'd call them, like status indicators that kind of are around the knitties eventually, and you'll be able to customize which one you want, so I might do a black label one of those at some point. Just spin this around. So yeah, obviously I can kind of shuffle these up and get to one where I'm happy with it. There are, like, not all of them are perfect, and oh, that's quite a cool one, isn't it? That is a nice one. That is a nice setup. That's really awesome. So you can see here, I just wanted to stop that. Missed it. Okay, there we go. So it's not everything's perfect, and we were contemplating whether we were going to be like spend a ton of time like rigging everything or re-rigging stuff so that clipping didn't occur. You know, like so this issue here where the wing pack, the Meeper collab. What one is this one? This one is Dread, isn't it? So this is the Dread version of Chief. We were going to spend ages just re-rigging all these, and then in the booster chat, Ekeo was talking about, I think it was Tekken, and like Tekken, they just put everything in it, and they didn't bother like testing whether on Kuma, whether that hat clipped through that back accessory or anything like that. It just all clips through. It's just complete chaos, and everyone loves it, right? Because they can customize their Tekken characters however they want, and they can make decisions as individuals as to whether they want that, whether that goes well with that item and all that kind of stuff. And I think we're going to take the same view. We're going to rig everything well so it moves correctly and all that kind of stuff. But ultimately, like stuff like we've got so many assets, stuff like this is just inevitable, really. So we'll kind of we'll do all the things that we can to make sure it doesn't occur too often. So for example, one of the things I'm definitely going to be doing is, there it is, making the brim of this much thicker so that the hat doesn't come through, basically. Yeah. Yeah, so anyway, I did just notice a small issue there. I don't know if anyone spotted it, but yeah, I just noticed a small issue. So I should probably make a note of it. The issue is that the previously selected Knitty Super Knit here, that looks cool, doesn't it? They all look really cool. If I change to a different Knitty, oh no, it worked fine that time. In the last one, when I was going through it, the Super Knits Knitty, the beanie didn't come off, so I need to look at that. I've got a feeling I know what that is. Yeah, so this is kind of right where we're at with things. None of this is perfect. It's not final iteration. This is all testing iteration. This is all first iteration assets into the game. There will be several revisions of these things and a gradual iteration as we go through the assets. There will be issues. There will be lots of clipping issues because most of these assets have not been designed to work together. Look at this here. Will there be a way to make sure you have a unique Knitty when customizing? Just give me a second, I'm going to close my door. Right, okay, so will there be a way to make sure you have a unique Knitty when customizing? That would be quite challenging because some people's data will be, well, all of the Knitty's data is stored locally, like, so they're like, the only way of doing that would be to upload everyone's individual Knitty data to a central server, and then every time you create your Knitty, scan a list of those Knitties. Now, if that, so that would have to be stored on a server somewhere, and every time you would either have to get the list of those Knitties, or you would need to do an API call to each individual element of that list, right? The best way would probably be to transfer it to the local machine. Now, if you've got like ultimately, like how many players do we actually want in this ecosystem? As many as possible, right? Do we want hundreds of thousands? That would be amazing, wouldn't it? Tens of thousands would be amazing. Would be incredible, wouldn't it? Like, even if we could get 20% of all of the current Knitties holders playing, that would be a massive achievement, right? That would be like 200 and I don't know what the number is, maybe 300 people playing, right? That would be a huge achievement at this stage or within the next 12 months, right? So we'd need to pull down a list of all of those Knitties, and we then need to check against them. So it'd be pretty challenging to do that, I think. Now, could we do something whereby you, like, this is future talk coming, where you actually sort of mint your Knitty, and then we could like look, like if other people wanted to mint that Knitty and it goes, oh hang on, someone's already done this one, then they can't do it. But I don't know how fair that would be, especially if people have paid for like on secondary for those assets. Anyway, it would be very difficult basically. And I think that with the assets we've got and the assets that are actually available, it would be quite challenging currently to avoid having a duplicate, simply because most people, like, if you keep your S1 as it is, then with the extras, once we implement them, it will be unique. Then no one else will have that one. But most people are going to be customizing. So as soon as you customize, you start reducing the pool of possibilities, I think. Or no, you increase the possibility of there being a duplicate, but you increase the amount of possibilities that there are overall. Does that make sense? I'm not sure if that makes sense. Anyway, whatever. There's lots of possibilities. I mean, it would be quite fun if you did all walk into. Now, there are going to be some arenas where you do have like if you're on a team, you might get the red team, and you might get like a red team hoodie, right? Or a red team indicator. So you'll all get the same hoodie or whatever, and that'd be quite interesting. Yeah, like we did with the Christmas hats, where you can Christmas somebody. You can like inflict Christmas on someone else, and they become Christmased. I haven't changed the arena, by the way, so if I go into the arena, then this is going to sort of be in that Christmas area. So anyway, let's just get to a good Knitty. I felt like I had a really good one earlier, and then I cleared it, didn't I? Now I've forgotten what it was. I love these sort of like ones that end up like this chief torso ends up looking like a post-apocalyptic thing, and you've got these kind of crazy, almost crazy Fallout-esque sort of combinations, which is really awesome. And we're trying to do Matrix ones the other day. That looks pretty cool, doesn't it? The S1 trousers are not in yet either. They won't be shorts, they'll just be trousers for S1s. Okay, so we've got a fairly nice setup here. Can I do any different color? No, I can't. Okay, and obviously like the data flow of this is that you would then save it, and then you would go to the arena. Oh, is that super loud for everyone? I hope the sound's okay. You couldn't hear me last time we did this. I get my controller. Okay, and obviously it's the standard thing. Oh, there's no music. Oh no, there is. Okay. Yeah, I need to change this. Like, I picked something that was kind of like Christmassy, so yeah. just love these, like how they move around. I think most people are really happy with how they moved around. There's still networking issues that we need to resolve, but yeah. How cool does this look though? Like this Knitty in the world, it's pretty awesome. Oh, is there no music? It says there should be here. Well, on my OBS, it's coming up as, oh, it's low. Got it. Okay. I'll wait to tell you for people to tell me that it's okay. I think it's like a 10-second lag, isn't there? See if I've turned it up too much. Okay, we'll just leave it there. And if it needs to come down again, let me know. It's so confusing, isn't it? I need to give it like 10 seconds for people to before I take any actions. Okay, we're just going to leave it like that. So obviously I need to change these arenas. And this is again just done for testing. And yeah, we're playing around with things, weren't we? Like in-game changes and all that kind of stuff. Quite cool, you know. Yeah. So yeah, that's sort of where we're up to with things at the moment. So no changes on the arena front. We're still on the same version in terms of the network test. But in terms of the customization screen, it's not the screen, it's the tooling behind that I've been working on basically, and we've been testing. So yeah, I've got some stuff in there that I'm going to be expanding on later on. There's actually a bit of code I need to write to do something specific in a minute, but I probably won't do that on stream. There is something I need to fix though, and that is, it's on my other screen, and it was something that Toasty ID'd, and it is that the Thumper assets were set up to the incorrect NFTs. Let's have a quick look at chat. Blackbeard Knitty. Yeah, for that jacket. Yeah, you need that, the black jacket. Trouble with WSD, can I map this to the arrow keys? Yeah, I should be able to. Let me just see right now. We're going to be dropping a booster update soon. Possibly tonight, actually, or later on today. And if you want access to that, then just ask one of the boosters really nicely, and I'm sure you'll be sent a link. I'm going to be adding a little info screen to the UI later on, so that there's a few there's a few caveats, right? Because it's early days, we don't have it on a server. We're using a host and client setup at the moment. So there are some lag issues depending on regions and quality of internet connection, that kind of thing that we will be working on. It might be impossible to resolve it without going to a server-based system, which we don't really want to do. But yeah, the funny thing about Web3 gaming, if there is really, such a thing, is that they all, like, for the scale of product that they all have to exist on centralized servers. Let me have a look. So Thumper, uncommon. Okay, so it looks like I've probably got the I've got the incorrect materials on the hats, so that's why it was coming through like that. So actually the keywords were fine, it's just I had the incorrect materials on the different hats, which is why we test. And I think it was just the rare and the uncommon. So the rare should be green and the uncommon should be purple. Yeah. Okay. Special mono. Okay. So I think those should be correct now. I think I had some of those in my fake wallet, so I'll just go and check. Just need to add one to my fake wallet, so I just need to program that in quickly. Wrong file, wrong wallet. S2 list. Knitty, Thumper, and what would a rare one be? It would be 0. Go for 5.5. I think toasts might be in that range. Okay, let's have a look. So here, what I'm testing is the Thumper hats specifically, and whether the correct name is displayed for the correct hat. So Sweetfellas, Thumper Rare, so that's correct now, isn't it? Yeah, that's correct. Cool. So issue 1. What else is there? Knittimals. Okay, so we've been talking about this quite a lot. I think the Knittimals are going to be, for now, a single player feature, because otherwise we could have like 16 Knitties if we go for 16 player plus 16 Knittimals running around. Now these are all skinned assets, all unique skinned assets, all animating on screen at once, which is quite expensive GPU wise. So we've got to be mindful of that. So certainly in terms of single player, the Knittimals are going to be like an AI companion. That's the idea. We'll see. We might change that somewhat. Yeah, we'll see. We're still playing around with how the Knittimals are going to tie in exactly, but certainly I was quite close to putting in the Knittimal spawner actually into the next set of builds, but I think we need to get through the lobby system and all that kind of stuff first, and then we'll be adding Knittimals in on the customization screen, so you can pick your Knittimal and Knittimal will appear, right? And then what we'll do is we'll maybe have a system where they'll follow you around. The following around is quite interesting, because the system that you use to have things follow you around is called a nav mesh. They'll be called something different on other systems, but within Unity it's called a nav mesh, which is like basically it determines what areas an AI companion can walk on, and I'm probably going to have like there are, because there'll eventually hopefully be different AI companions, like birds, for example. Um, we need to think about what things birds would be able to move around on versus dogs and cats. So it might be that there are only specific areas that the Knittimals can you can kind of interact with them basically. But yeah, they'll be making appearance soon. I actually need to reskin them. The system that I developed for skinning assets live, like with no lag and all that kind of stuff, I think it's really innovative. um, Certainly at this sort of level of development. I mean, inevitably there are people in the upper echelons of game development who are doing this kind of stuff all the time, but for this kind of level of game dev, the transferring of assets is, I think, quite innovative, right? Normally what you would like, the easiest way to do this would be to, like, every Knitty has as default got everything on it, right? But it's just all turned off, and you turn on the thing that you want, right? But with the way that I'm doing it is to just help with various issues, is to only spawn the things, like, and spawn them live that actually exist on the Knitty, right? And that sounds kind of obvious, that what you do is you take this hoodie off and switch another hoodie into its place, but it doesn't work quite that way. What you've got to do is you've got to transfer all of the skin weights from the new item to the Knitty. So you've got to identify all the bones in the new item, and you've got to transfer the weights from those bones onto the old bones so that it animates correctly. You've also got to get a system together where you can add and remove the actual meshes and bring the new ones in, and the way that I've done that is really, I think, quite interesting. It's very modular. It's very quick to set like a new asset up. Maybe it would be cool to release your Knitable for a specific action if it's too expensive to have them run around all the time. Yeah, it could do. Like, I wonder if you like you have your Knitable can be released for a certain amount of time. Because the kind of stuff that we're doing, like the arenas, we're calling them arenas. Nooks are kind of confusing, I suppose, but there's going to be nooks and there's going to be arenas, right? So, for example, let me sort of play, like, let's say that this desk environment is a nook, all right? The nook that this would exist in would be like a child's bedroom, right? Something like that. Actually, that's not a great example, actually. Okay, let's say that one of the nooks is Pirate Land. Okay, I think I've mentioned Skull Island or something on previous streams. But let's say there's a pirate-themed nook, which we're hoping there will be. Nooks are like different areas of a theme park, okay? And they represent different areas in the game. And they're not going to be massive. They're going to be quite small and concise, but with lots of things to do in them, essentially. But not so massive that it's overwhelming. There will be some interesting expansive things moving forward. So once we've got the pirate asset set designed, then we can have things like like Adam and I generated like an infinite world generator. We could potentially feed that stuff into those, or we could feed them into an infinite runner, so you can generate all these different game types based on those core asset types, which is really interesting. Because you can generate infinite runners based on all these different nooks that we develop. Once we develop the nook assets, we will then develop an arena for each of the nooks. So there'll be a pirate-themed arena, right? Single-player nook, multiplayer arena, right? That's the kind of setup that we'll be going for. And the arenas will be a variety of different styles. And I think thinking about having different, like, the arenas can house different types of games. So, for example, and this is hypothetical, for example, you could be playing golf as one game, like someone instigates a game of golf, at a crazy golf, and then another person instigates a game of like Smash, right? Not Smash, but not like, yeah. I mean, yeah, it wouldn't be as complicated as Smash. You're not going to have like all those different moves, but there might be like Mallet Smash or something, or it might be there's a game type I'm working on at the moment, which I think is going to be really interesting and quite addictive. I don't want to talk too much about it, but it's kind of like capture the flag. That would be really, really cool, I think. So I'm looking forward to that one. But yeah, all the arenas would need to house that game essentially, where there won't be like a unique pirate arena for each game type. There will be an arena, and that arena will house different styles of game. And what you could then do is within that, you could have like, a stamina meter or a Knittimal special move thing. And once you've done a certain number of actions, you can release your Knittimal, right? And maybe it goes and downs an enemy, or knocks an enemy over, or some enemy knocks another Knitty over, that kind of thing. But these are all hypotheticals, and they're just like interesting things to talk about right now, because this is super early in game development. But as people like play around and we watch them play around and we see what they do, we will be developing more and more ideas. One of the things that I was really aware of when we did the last alpha, like the Christmas alpha, is that there were people who were like working, who had Knitties open, and they were just dipping into it every now and then. Now that did cause some issues. It caused some latency issues if they were the host, which we need to solve. But it also indicated to me that people are interested in asynchronous play elements. So play elements where they can dip in, drop their Knitty somewhere, and other characters can come and interact with the Knitty. So for example, the people building totems so they could get up to the hidden snowman up on the top platform. And some people just put their Knitty there and left it 5-10 minutes, So there's interesting things there that, I'd like to sort of play around with. So we'll see about those. Right, so let's do a full build here. So what I'm going to do is switch my build over to WebGL. I've got like huge texture sizes at the moment. I've been optimizing a little bit, but I'm not prioritizing optimization at the moment. So what we've been doing is we've been running the maximum texture size super low, at like 512 pixels, so that I can just fire it over to Adam, and Adam uploads like the daily build, trying to get a build done daily at the moment. And he uploads it, and if we have the file size being small, then obviously that's a lot better. The game, like with this many textures and this many models, is going to be large, right? Especially as a WebGL file, which means you're downloading it all in one go. So it might well be that every time we update the Knitties alpha or the Knitties game, eventually you have to do this mega download. But once it's downloaded, it's cached on your computer until you delete your temporary files. So it's kind of there until we release an update, But that's something to also be aware of, or something that we're very aware of, is that when we start having full quality textures in there, it's huge. So what we might be doing is having different versions of it. So like high res version, low res version, and you can choose which one you play on, and they all interact with each other, which is pretty cool. Okay, let's build this thing. Like, if this works, like if this build is completely functional, then I could probably send it over to Adam, and Adam can upload it, and we can just give it to boosters right away, potentially. If anyone has any questions, then obviously drop them in the various chats, and I will get to them. Yes, this is just building at the moment. The various different shaders, like there's quite a lot of different possibilities. So it has to compress all of those and build them. So it takes a little while to build. WebGL, it takes a long time to build WebGL because it's just single core, right? This version of Unity only builds WebGL on a single core because the compiler for WebGL only operates off of a single core. Whereas if you're building for a machine, Windows, Mac, Linux, it uses all the cores, and like my Mac is like 128 core, so it's just super fast to build anything. But yeah, this WebGL thing is really annoying. This is this screen layout. This is like the default skybox in Unity, and when it's building, it will hide everything in a scene and that kind of stuff. So that's why you see that whilst it's building. Like I said, the WebGL builds just take ages. You need to ask me some questions so that I've got something to talk about. I mean, I can talk about lots of stuff, as you all know, but okay, I think we're nearly there. Yeah, and we mentioned some more Knittimals. So the Knittimals policy is like 3 years, I think. So we are planning some more. I say planning some more. There are some more on the informal calendar of developments. I'm reluctant to call it a roadmap, but there are some more on there. Different types of Knittimals, that kind of thing. Here we go. Hang on a sec. Yeah, there are some more, but we need to get through this next set of alphas first. Okay. So let's have a quick look. So this doesn't always work first time. Like on my local machine, when it builds for the first time, sometimes the wallet connection doesn't work. And I have to like refresh it a ton of times and then it works. It's a bit weird. And if anyone's looking at this trailer icon down here, Potheads trailer, that's actually a new NFT project, and they sent me a trailer for it to have a look at, basically, to see if we were interested in doing any whitelisting with them. Okay, let's just make this full screen and let's connect my wallet and hopefully it works. There we go. So see how quick that was? It's pretty nuts. Like that was connecting to my NAMI. You saw me do the thing, like click on the OK in NAMI, and boof, that gets us here. within like, what was that, maybe a second and a half, maybe. And that's the entirety of all of my assets in, which I think is just amazing. Like the tech that we've got, that we've developed, it's nothing like, it's not groundbreaking, but Adam and I want to release it for other projects to use. Like we want to open source it. So I think but I think like we've done so much stuff that we've given to other projects that I think we'd like to do a catalyst bid for this one, so that we can maintain it for 12 months, basically, and pay for our time to maintain it for 12 months. So not paying for the stuff we've already developed, but paying to actually actively maintain it, whilst other community members fork it and all this kind of stuff, and integrate it into their own games. Something I noticed the other day is when I move this browser window over to one of my 5K screens, it switches to 5K automatically. It doesn't like reload it or anything. It just shows it in 5K. Like the whole game is now in 5K. It's really interesting. I was really impressed by that. Like, so screenshots that I take on my other screens just way better. But I'm not even sure. Yeah, Bishop, I'm not even sure when the next Catalyst thing is going to be, right? I think the controversy over the, what was it, Daedalus Plus or something? I can't remember what it was. The controversy over that has kind of, I feel like they've kind of withdrawn. They've gone, hang on a second, we need to look at how the Catalyst funding works. Yeah, Daedalus Turbo. And it got loads of votes, right? And then, like, even Charles was going, what is this? Like, so I think they're going to revise the way they do things. They're already revising things. Switching back to an ADA value rather than a dollar value for projects. Yeah. Anyway, so let's have a quick look what we've got here. Let's just shuffle a little bit. Ignore the weird last knit eyes. I need to fix the hat. The expression comes through the last knit eyes. I've got my own sort of favourite sort of setups, but within this wallet there are 1,191,680 different combinations. It's pretty cool. That's just based on current like assets that are in, right? That's just using the assets that I've put in, which is I've got over 140 jobs on the asset spreadsheet. That's just for like S2s. So see you later, Bishop. Thanks for coming along. So yeah, that's just, it's gonna be really annoying. Like, this is one of those really annoying things where you're trying to get a Knitty that you like, even though it's completely irrelevant. And of course I could just go through and manually do it. That dread looks kind of cool, doesn't it? Okay, let's go with the Alex hat. There we go. Okay, looking quite dapper. Okay, there we go. Right, so let's just hide the UI. So obviously, like, now we've got these decks coming in that only, like I said before, there's only the Jet, Felix and Astro decks coming in, and this is just a test, right? This is not how this scene would necessarily be. I mean, maybe it will be. Maybe it will be. Maybe this is how it will be. We'll see. But this is just a condensed scene for me to be able to test stuff out. We've got the treasure chest appearing because, you know, all this stuff is appearing because I've got certain Knitties. You know, that the notice board is like a timeline of the Knitties project, or it will be. You can kind of see how involved you've been in the Knitties project from start through to present day, that kind of thing. That's the idea. And obviously, like, we'd like to fill it up for people who have come late and can't get in at certain levels and all this sort of stuff as well. I wonder how much these go for at the moment. The pre-original launch NFT update cards. I wonder like what they go for. It's 250 of them, or 255 of them, I think. Tomato, because I've got a Switch, and obviously I've got like an Aeon as well. Oh, there's a skateboard that gets cut off there. That's the Mark III skateboard is going to be behind the Knitties head here, unfortunately. What I need to do is have a system. Like, I've got a modular camera system, but I haven't implemented any camera moves yet. So I need to implement a side-to-side camera move so that you can kind of shift the camera around a little bit and see more of what's in the scene. What we wanted to do here is we wanted to create a system that was like screenshotable for people, and maybe a way that we can save out like a 4K desktop background image or something like that, or something that you can post on Twitter, because we'd like to encourage community members to tweet basically like their setup, their nook, as it were. Because I think this is really awesome, and we're going to try and customize this as much as possible. So, like, when you invite someone into your nook, eventually, your personal sort of custom area, they can kind of see all the different things that you've got, which I think is really cool. And it'd be really awesome if we can onboard other projects into that as well. So, like if you have I don't know, like if you've got, I don't know what's on, like a clay, for example. Maybe we can speak to Clay, and Clay give us an asset. And if you've got a Clay in your wallet, then you get a specific thing in your nook related to that. Bitfins, Crypto Raggies, Ape Society, all these projects, like we can do that kind of stuff pretty easily, but automate it, so that it detects whether you've got that and it drops it into the scene in a designated spot, that kind of thing. Dead rabbits, yeah. So what we've got to do is we do have to be careful. And this isn't in relation to dead rabbits specifically, but I don't really know much about dead rabbits, I should say. But any project, we need to be careful about what their values are, and whether that aligns with our audience. And obviously, we want this to be as accessible to people as possible. So what we definitely don't want is things like babies with AK-47s, that kind of thing. So we just got to be really careful with that. So everything will be curated, and just we just make sure that it fits well. And one of the great things about since we did the Christmas alpha is people, like parents, contacting us and saying, my kids have been playing it and they love customizing and getting their knitties and seeing what knitties they've got and just running around and bombing people and all that kind of stuff. It's not bombing, of course. You're giving a present, but and that's really rewarding to hear that kind of stuff. So we just got to bear that in mind, Yeah, so this is kind of where we're at. So we'll just have a look at the wallet that I'm currently scanning for this. Oh, I made the browser full screen, didn't I? Let's go into the wallet. So this is my live NAMI testing wallet. So there's quite a lot of knitties in here in terms of S2s. So what have we got going on? We've got, obviously, we're picking up this policy here, which is the Crypto Knitties thingy policy, NFT update policy. We've got 14 S1 Crypto Knitties in here. There's still stuff on these that I need to add in, like the bull ears and the bear ears and all that kind of stuff. And we're not looking at extras just yet. That will be future stuff. And we're not looking at this one yet. I'm not looking at the achievements just yet. I will be. There aren't many of those, obviously, but I'll be looking at the achievement policy at some point. And there's only a few of those. What we got to do is we also got to be careful that we don't run into a legacy of tech debt, where for I can't remember how many. Is there 109? I can't remember how many Alexes there are, but there's an Alex for I think every wallet with an achievement. When we did the airdrop, and I think it's that way round. And no, there's not many of them. Now, if we reach our aspirational audience, then you don't want to be in a situation where you're doing too much work for just 100 people, right? Oh, Alex says 125 achievements. Awesome. But then we already got that tech debt for the black labels, right? When we did Knittimals, we did them with all of this stuff in mind, and we didn't want to be having too many like one of a kind things, right? Because when you've got, if you were planning a big game, let's think about something like Yummies, right? If you're doing a big game and you've got 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 players, not all at once, but you've got that range of people, and every time you do an art update, you have to update all of those one-of-ones. That's quite a lot of work for one person, one holder, right? So you've got to work in such a way that you sort of maximize the impact of your work, and making something bespoke for one player when you've got 300,000 players is kind of a little bit silly when you think about it, right? So we got to kind of take that approach with things, and we kind of did that with Knittimals in that we didn't do anything black labelish for Knittimals. I think probably in what we'll do with the future sets of Knittimals is we will have one-of-ones, but they will be done in a sustainable way. Obviously we're picking up S2s and we're picking up pseudos as well, which is pretty cool, I think. See you later, fella. Thanks for coming along. Scarlett says Dracano. Yeah, Dracano would be really cool. So they could we could have a Dracano hoodie, which would be awesome for a particular policy, So if you hold a dragon chaser or something like that, then what you got to do is try and maximize it though, right? So again, it's one of those things you don't want to be doing a custom item that only 100 people can access ideally. Now obviously we've already committed to doing that, but moving forward we need to be not doing things for a really small group of people. So for example, you look at the dragon chasers, I think there's, oh goodness, how many are there? Is there 1,000 of them? 2,000? I can't remember. That's a decent group to do something custom for. And there are other, if we're doing the Faha 100, I think that's justifiable as well because of Faha's status in the community and the contributions he's made to the project and the support that he's given and all that kind of stuff, publicity that he gives and all that kind of stuff. So that'd be really, really cool to do. So yeah, those things we just got to think about. When chicken? It's I think if we had a chicken, it would have to be a rather than a Knittimal, that would be something else that's in the game. How cool would it be if we'd had a game where you had to round up the chickens? That would be pretty cool. Round up the chickens, like we were doing in Minecraft. Do you remember when we were playing on the Minecraft server? I don't know if how many people are still playing there, but like on the Minecraft server, and everyone's having to like round up the chickens they're making farms and stuff, right? Yeah, we could do. So I could give that a go. Be interesting over the network. We'll have to see. Yeah, but there's definitely potential for that kind of stuff. So this is the wallet that it's looking at when we sort of go into it like this. Let's do a few more shuffles and then I'll jump into the arena. You know what the arena looks like. It's not changed at all. But obviously, like in the future, there'll be a step between the customization and the arena. So, or where you'll be like, you'll go into a lobby and you'll pick either single player game, or you might pick the single player games, by the way, will still be networked. So there will still be like you'll still be networked for those games. Like you'll be, on the network, as it were. Because you've got to be online anyway, right, to do the wallet connection. With NAMI or whatever. Or do you need? That's interesting. Anyway. So that you go into a lobby screen and they're like, if I wanted to create my own room, like a private server, and I'd give my room a name, and then I go onto Discord and say, hey, I'm looking for a few more players for my room, and they have to type in the room name and they can get into your room that way. Or you can just go into a regional lobby, that kind of thing. Say what style of game you want to play, or maybe that's decided when you're in the actual lobby. People maybe vote eventually. That would be pretty cool. Vote on an arena and then vote on a game. That would be pretty nice, I think. Something I've got to figure out is what I'm hoping to do is once you're in an arena, you can just stay in the arena and just vote for different games within that arena, rather than coming back out to the lobby, which would be quite nice. So yeah, these are all things that we've got to work out, but obviously that's a step that we need to put in here, because at the moment, you just go straight, everyone goes into the same room, and the intention of that is that we're not releasing this publicly yet, it's a closed alpha, but also B, so that we could experiment with latency, client prediction models, that kind of stuff, which is all super interesting, but also super annoying. Like you will notice right now that, for example, the bombs, if you've got a bit of latency, like about, I think it works out as like 1/10 of a second latency, then the explosions don't go off where the bombs are unless you're the host. They will go off at what we call world 0, which is the 000 point coordinate point of the world, which is right in front of the Christmas tree. We're not using netcode actually. We're using oh hi, okay. We're not using netcode. We're using Fusion. It's a bit more established, I would say, and is proven to work effectively on WebGL, whereas netcode, they say this does not work with WebGL, but it will work with WebGL if you do these weird hacky things. We opted for a tried and tested system. I've noticed that netcode, they are using, with Unity netcode, they are using the same library naming conventions as Fusion for most of the network behavior. So I thought that was quite interesting. I think they're setting it up so you can hopefully just flip a switch and transfer over, which would be quite cool if that was possible, but we will see. Fusion we just thought was a better setup for now. It will cost us a bit more long run, but we'll work on it. And obviously this is early days, as I keep saying, this is early days. So yeah, this is looking pretty cool. So I don't know how many people kind of saw this. So what I'll do is I'll just refresh this. So this is working on my local system, but it is using the live wallet. It's using my NAMI, and obviously people saw that connect earlier. So for those of you who missed this before, this is working live and it is working online, and it is using my live NAMI wallet rather than a local test wallet. And obviously there are UI issues that I need to resolve, but yeah, this is kind of where we're at with it. So that was a full wallet read that it's just done, and it's just done all the different tests and all the different verifications on all of the assets, and it took like a second to do it, which I think is awesome. And that is scanning, goodness knows how many. It's comparing against the full S1 Knitties list, the full set of S2s. It is fast. Yeah, and like I said, we're making this so that it's as screenshotable as possible, so that we can encourage people to take screenshots and post them when we make it public. And hopefully the boosters will be doing that anyway. The boosters will have access before we've implemented the lobby system, just like we did last time with the Christmas demo. So if you're not a booster and you want access, then just make sure that you bribe one of the boosters, and they'll give you access so that you can play around in it. So yeah, other than that, there's not really much else to talk about. The next work package ongoing is adding more assets, like ongoing adding assets and fixing other issues with assets. The way the shorts are rigged really annoys me. No one's commented on it, but they really annoy me, so I'm very keen to get some standard knitty legs in there as soon as possible. Other things apart from assets, we're going to start looking at the lobby system pretty soon. But apart from that, there's going to be an arena design, and I'm looking at, obviously the arenas, as I mentioned, need to accommodate a different a broad range of gameplay mechanics, from chicken herding to Smash to golf, right? I think that's pretty good range. I mean, these are not all definitive, right? But those are different styles of game that would be really interesting, and the arenas need to accommodate those. So I need to sort of put my I can't spell has just won a space bud in another auction. How many tickets? How many tickets did he buy? I'm just going to find out. That's crazy. That is crazy. It's amazing, but wow. I've done 20 auctions so far, and it's an experiment, and I spent about 300 ADA just buying tickets across these auctions. Some of them I had like nearly a 20% chance on when the auction was over. Statistically, I should have won 2 of them. As it turned, I should have won 2 of them. I haven't won anything. I've not won anything yet. Typical. He sent it 3 total raffles. Yeah. So the same guy. I'm gonna try and pronounce your name, Gaik. So I know you've been in chat and stuff several times, but I've never like tried to pronounce your name, Gaik. Um, and he's done 3 raffles. Oh, he bought 20 tickets to the Space Buds thing, and that was 100 ADA. That's a decent amount of tickets, but like what percentage is that? That's yeah. Oh, congratulations, that's amazing. Like, like 30 or so, probably more actually, raffles. I've not won a thing. Anyway. But I did spot something interesting. I don't know if anyone else has seen it. Let me just grab the screenshot. I was putting screenshots of this. Let me just drop this onto my desktop and then I'll open it up. Yeah, so I spotted a little issue with their auction system. It's only a small issue. Let me just minimize this and I'll show you what it is. I'll just drag this over. This is a screenshot. It's not like, game breaking or anything. But this is me trying to buy 10 tickets, 1 ADA each, and the total of that is 10 ADA, as you can see here. But then you click on the buy and it gives you this. Now admittedly it says signature not possible. This is obviously a crediting to my account, right? So plus 486, and we're trying to figure out like where does that number come from, and why is it not just, why do I have to then close it down? And then just a small issue with their auctioning system. But I get this probably one in 3 times probably that I submit or try and buy some tickets. Yeah, just thought that was interesting. It won't let you sign it. Like it says signature not possible, but it won't let you sign it. And the next time you go in, it's always fine. So it's just the first time you go in on certain auctions. So there you go. So yeah, I mean, once we release this, if you do get access, then we'd be really grateful if you could take some screenshots and tweet them out. There's going to be a couple more bits added, I think, before, or maybe just 1 or 2 more bits added before we hand this build over to the boosters. And this build, there will be a notification that either on the web page or in Discord or on the front screen when you load up the project, or the WebGL page. But there are some things that aren't working. So for example, stickers. If you had a sticker in your wallet last night or the last few nights, it would wreck the parsing system, which was a bit annoying. But Toast ID'd it. I don't have any stickers, so I wasn't picking it up. I just assumed my code was working, which is why we test, right? So yeah, Toast picked that up, and I got it wrong last night, and hopefully now I fixed it. But if it crashes, then let us know, and what you will get is, I'll just show you this on stream because this is quite handy for us. If you go into, this is in Chrome, if you click on the 3 ellipses up here, or the more icon, click on more tools and go to developer tools. Just leave this up on the screen so people kind of see it. Click on developer tools. You'll see there's a bit of debug that comes out. There's normally like quite a lot of debug that comes out, but I've minimized it just so that people can really easily find the stuff that we want. Where it says cannot find, that means it hasn't been able to find something. I don't know what it's not been able to find, but I need to obviously fix that debug somehow. Anyway, up here, there's some policy data. This is like the wallet read data. So you can see that we're checking for policies. This is a list of the policies that are in the wallet. This is a list of the tokens that are in the wallet. This is a list of the S2 tokens. And this is a list of the pseudo tokens, right? So if you do experience an issue, what we can do is if you like copy and paste this out and then send that over to us, maybe we should add something actually to Discord to capture this. If you copy and paste that data out, I can drop it into a local wallet, a local pseudo wallet, and basically test it and see what's going on, just to help us ID some issues. So yeah. So that's where you can find that data, basically. I'll probably get rid of some of this other debug stuff. This debug stuff here where it's reading out all of the leg colors was because I restructured some of the keyword data, so that's why that's there, and I'll get rid of it. Okay, I think that's probably it. Rowdy's just boosted the server again, so thanks, Rowdy. It's awesome. 18 boosts. So if anyone has any more questions, then drop it in the next like 30 seconds or so. Otherwise, we will call it a day. And obviously, like what we'll do is we'll try and put something in the on the server so we can capture any issues that people experience as they're playing. So there's not going to be much more than this. It's more about we were just making this as screenshotable as possible. So again, I'll just reiterate, if you do get access to this from the boosters, if you are a booster or if you get access from a booster, it'd be great to see some screenshots up on Twitter. We've been getting a bit more traffic lately. The sales on secondary, bearing in mind that we were pre-marketplace, so like our big sales were earlier on like within the NFT space on Cardano. So we've hit, like with our policies, over like 500,000 ADA at the moment, which is for us, I think, is pretty good, because we missed the big attention point when the post, I call it the post Thor era, because it's like that era when Cardano got really popular and all these YouTubers started talking about it. Cardano Thor, being Thor, of course, and that era kind of happened in like August, September of 2021, and we were already like 6 months old, so we kind of missed that era of engagement we were sort of building at that point. So we missed the kind of hype era. So 500,000 of sales at the moment is pretty awesome. Yeah, the escrows. I actually had a number on that. Goodness, I'll have to look it up. We got all of the data from one of the escrow servers, and this escrow server was supposedly going to be giving ADA in the form of, like, the fee that they were taking, like a certain percentage of that fee was going to be going to the project teams, the creators, It never happened, of course. Like in those early days, it was a bit like Wild West, wasn't it? But it happened with some projects. So some projects got their, well, they called them royalties, but some projects got those. Really, it was just a cut of the sales fee that the escrows were doing. And some of the big projects got them, but the smaller projects got cut out, unfortunately. And that happened on several escrow servers. A bit of behind the scenes, whole project owner sort of stuff there. I'm not sure how many people are aware of that, but only like the big projects got those royalties, and everyone else was cut out, unfortunately. But from one of the servers, they sent us over the sales data, and it worked out that for per sale on that server, we were going to be getting like 1.5 ADA per sale. It was just a fixed amount, and the amount of ADA that we calculated we were eligible for was like 3,800 or something. So reverse engineer that, and that's like what is that? I don't know how many sales that is, but it's a decent number of sales on escrow, right? So what's that, like 1,000, 2,000 sales? Pepperidge Farm remembers, yeah. Those, it was pretty bad actually, because they were all like going, oh yeah, we're giving royalties to, no, not royalties, it's the wrong term, but we're giving a cut of the sales amount to all of the projects. A cut of the sales from our escrows is going to all of the projects, and it did go to the big projects. They got what they asked for, and when the smaller projects came and said, hey, hang on a second, they didn't get anything. And of course they publicised the big payouts, didn't they, back then? So I could quickly calculate that actually, couldn't I? Stop being lazy. Actually find out the numbers. I've got it written. It might, 3,800. I've got 3,800 in my head. I think that was. I didn't go through all of the sales, so I think it was more than that. And I didn't go through the big ones either. So there were big ones that were on top of this, I remember. So divide that by 1.5 ADA. That's 2,533 sales, right? Let's assume that those went for, at one point the floor price was like 25 ADA, I think. So let's just assume they all went for floor price, which they won't have done. That's another 63,000. That's like, yes, another 63,000. But some of those sales were a lot bigger than that, especially in the early days. There was a period in like June, July, where like the floor was like 25, and there were lots of sales at low value. But like some of these sales were like in the 300 or 400 range when we first dropped, because there was quite a big flurry at the start when we had the initial sale drop out. People were trying to get their Knitty, and they could only get them in escrow, and there was loads being sold. Loads. I reckon we'd probably be looking at about 200,000 there, plus the big sales. I think that's a fair estimate. We'd probably, with the big sales, one of them being 30,000, and then a couple of like 5 to 10,000 ones. I think that you'd probably be looking at about 280,000 ADA, I think, in sales. That was off one escrow server, one, right? The biggest one, the biggest escrow server, which was CNFT on Discord, we never got sales figures from. So yeah, I mean, most people were trading on CNFT, right? So that was just off one server, which was pretty cool. Yeah, interesting. Anyway, let's just quickly go through. Okay, yeah, no more questions. So yeah, this is going to be closed alpha. The next couple of builds will be closed alpha, but we're moving towards a public alpha ASAP. I would like to be able to get it out in next 3 weeks, but we'll see. Don't hold me to that. We'll see. Obviously things happen. And the lobby system is complex, so we just want to make sure that we get it right, especially if we're putting it out there publicly. And what we'd also like to do is when we do the public drop, we'd also like to have a couple of special collaborative mints to go alongside it. So we've been speaking to some potential collaborative partners. One of them is pretty big and is also like actually no, I'm not going to say that, but definitely a supporter of Knitties, and been around for a long time in the Knitties community, and is huge now. And it's not Faha, it's someone else. But we'd like to do something with Faha as well. Yeah. But there's a couple of other projects that we're talking to, and so we're hoping to have some collaborative mints when we do the first public launch, so that people who don't have any customization options can get in and get something, pick something up, basically. So that should be pretty cool. Okay, I think that's it then. So yeah, thanks for coming along again. We've been on for like an hour and 45 minutes, so thanks for coming along. I hope that you're all pleased with the progress so far. We've been putting a lot of work in, putting a lot of hours in to building the sort of infrastructure stuff in the background. Once we get the public alpha up, there will be a consolidation period where we go back into the code that we've got, we bug fix, we optimize, and get it all rounded off and ready to implement like modular builds from there. And so that's the point at which we can just start working on the actual nooks themselves and the real arenas and all that kind of stuff, like moving out of testing and actually into world building at that point. So yeah, thanks for coming along, and hopefully we will see you all for the next one, possibly next week. See you later.